Hello, people of YouTube. My name is Steve Gray, and thank you for watching. Today, we're going to be talking about My Hero Academia Season 5, Episode 23. This season, at this point, it just keeps getting better. About episode 20, 18, 19 to the end, going to be excellent. We only got 2 episodes left. The only thing that I was slightly annoyed with this particular episode was Spinner's backstory. That is correct. Spinner, we got a tiny glimpse of Spinner's backstory. I don't know if we're going to get any more. He is going against this guy named Trumpet, where people believe in him and his beliefs. When he speaks to them and encourages them, it actually makes them stronger and makes their abilities more powerful. And Spinner, being a more of a low-class villain, you know, he is, I think, rank C if you go to the official wiki page for the characters. He has the abilities of a gecko. You know, he's not really super strong. He can stick to things. I'm not going to call him useless because he's definitely been useful, but he is definitely not, probably one of the weakest ones in the League of Villains at this point in time. We get the tiniest bit of his backstory. It's not even a lot. You know, basically the guy that is in Re-Destro's army is saying, you know, I don't even think of you as like on my same level. You're just some weak, pathetic underling of, you know, Shigaraki, and I don't even know why you're here trying to fight me. He's going against like 150 people, and there's literally nothing he can do. Twice his clones are saving his butt the entire time during this whole transaction. Basically, the maybe 3-minute backstory we get from Spinner is he was a shut-in. You know, he was just a depressed guy. A lot of people made fun of him because of the way he looked. So he just kind of kept to himself, stayed home, played video games, watched movies, just kind of didn't interact with any of society. Probably very depressed, very angry. And then he saw Stain on TV, and he got his motivation to do something, you know, to be a part of that. Then he meets up with Shigaraki, and now he wants to see where it's going to go with Shigaraki, you know, destroying everything, breaking down all of those barriers, you know, getting rid of the people, you know, getting rid of the thought that you can just make fun of somebody for the way they look, that everybody hates you because of the way you look. I think that's a big thing of him, is obviously his appearance is a big portion of that. He still dresses like Stain. That's his entire costume. So he definitely idolizes Stain, but he's more towards the point of idolizing Shigaraki now. Unlike Toga, you know, he doesn't have somebody that he loves. You know, he's not like Twice, where he's massively looking for a place to fit in, where he's mentally going to get to, you know, stabilized, I should say, or whatever, however you'd like to call Twice's origin story. And that's pretty much all we get. He just wants to follow Shigaraki, see where this goes, because he's got nothing going on. You know, he was depressed. Now he's out of the house. He's making some friends, and he just wants to continue this journey and see where it leads him. Will Spinner die? I don't know. I think there's a possibility that Spinner might be the one from the League of Villains that actually dies in the scuttle, him being the weakest for the most part, minus maybe Mr. Compress. If you get close enough to Mr. Compress to touch him, you're pretty good. You know, I would say you'd be able to take him down fairly easily, but with his abilities to just, you know, compress things, make them bigger, and kind of chuck marbles at you, and then boom, you just got hit in the face with the truck. He is definitely a interesting attacker from a long-range standpoint, I would say is the best bet. Now, moving on to Shigaraki, we get a lot of Shigaraki's background. We got a little bit of glimpse last episode, you know, with Twice and Toga. They put a little bit of him in, but this was more of like the actual origin, and I think we're getting even more of it next episode. I think more, because it actually said, you know, it was Tomaru Shigaraki's origin is the title for episode 24. So I think what's going to end up happening is we're either going to get some more backstory, even though I feel like we got most of the backstory this episode, or it's going to be him becoming like the major villain, the successor to All for One. So we already kind of knew a tiny bit about it, you know, with his family, that he wasn't around his family, that the hands were his family members' hands. And we kind of learned how that happens. So he's just maybe young, you know, 5 or 6, somewhere around that age. And what happens is his dad wants nothing to do with heroes, because his dad's mom was All Might's teacher. So that was a person that had All for One. She abandoned her son, which is, you know, Tomaru's father, And then he really hated heroes, didn't want to mention anything about the word hero. We don't know if he ever actually had any quirks or not, but it's nothing to do with hero. So every time, either Tomer or his sister brings it up, they get punished, either physically or, like a timeout or whatever. And then we see Tomer, scratching his eyes, his throat all the time. And they say that it's allergies. I don't think it's allergies. I think it's because he has to suppress who he wants to be. And his 5-year-old body and mind does not know how to process that. So it could be a combination of allergies and that. Well, because that's what his mother said. His mother said it had something to do with allergies. Now, when his father, either beat him or punished him or whatever else during this process, his family just kind of sat behind. His mom and his grandparents on his mother's side and his sister, they didn't really stop it. They didn't try to stop it from happening. So he kind of slowly grew annoyed of them as well. The only person that he had was the family dog, which that's going to be sad in a moment. Unfortunately, spoiler alert. So his sister ends up finding a picture of his grandmother on his father's side and is like, look, we have a hero in the family. We have a hero in the family. His dad gets really, really angry, slaps him, beats him a little bit. And then his mom's like, if you're going to keep doing that, I'm throwing your rules out the window. I will not have you beating my children, which is good, shows a protective mother to a certain extent. He's in this really, really nice house. His father's got a lot of money from a young age. We learn. Him and his sister seem to be playing a little bit, seem to just be happy-go-lucky kids, but, mentally, this kid is just kind of out of it. We get a little taste of his ability when he throws a tennis ball for his dog, and it decays just a tiny, tiny bit. But what ultimately happens is his father discovering that he found the picture of his grandmother in his office, and that's how he ends up hitting them, and his abilities kind of go crazy. He starts scratching his eyes. He's hugging his dog for comfort, and ultimately ends up killing his dog. And he freaks out. He can't talk. He can't process what just happened. 5-year-olds typically do not have a good concept of death, which I thought was portrayed very well in this episode. And his sister comes out to apologize, because the sister was the one that, kind of fessed up and was like, hey, Tomaru was in your office. You should need to go punish him, because she didn't want to get punished. Typical sibling rivalry that happens all the time. One sibling will blame it on another sibling, even though it wasn't their fault. That does happen from time to time. Raise your kids better. So the father comes out. That's when he hits Tomaru. And then he starts hugging the dog, kills the dog. The sister then later comes out trying to comfort him. She sees the dead dog, and he cannot talk. He is just like gasping for air, hyperventilating, and he just wants comfort. He was like, oh, you've come to apologize, please stay here, help me. I don't know what the heck just happened. He thought a villain was after him, and he ends up grabbing his sister, in which she also dies. Then we see his grandparents and his mother come out to see what happened, because the sister screamed when she saw the dead dog, and then he, slams his hands into the ground crying, and all his abilities are just, cracking all over the place. It's spreading. I guess he has a radius. There's probably some sort of radius that his abilities can go to. Gets to his grandparents, kills both of them. His mother is trying to run to him to hug him to calm him down, but she too ends up dying in the process. The father eventually, comes down to apologize to his son, because he realized what he did was wrong. But because he mentally and physically abused Tomaru for so long, Tomaru just sees him and is like, Dad, help me. And instead of his dad, just dismissing everything and trying to help him, guess what he does? He smacks him in the side of the face with I think it was some sort of gardening equipment. And at that point, Tomaru is sure that he wants to kill his father. So the other members, the dog, his grandparents, his mother, his sister, he didn't really intentionally want to kill them. He said deep in the back of his mind he think he did, but it all kind of came together for him when he grabbed his father's face and killed him, and because he actually wanted to kill his father for the abuse he put him through. And then, shortly after, he destroys his entire house, his family home, and then All for One finds him a little bit later on. So that is kind of the origin story of what happened to him and his family, why he has the hands. And Giga also shows up finally in this episode. I'm sure he is going to be a major problem in the foreseeable future. Next episode. So next episode is going to be interesting. We only have 2 episodes left. 25 episodes. I'm out of Rick and Morty, and we're closing the gap here with My Hero Academia. I'm gonna need some shows to review, so if you got something for me to review, let me know. This one is definitely getting a 9 out of 10. Excellent episode overall. Nothing really wrong with it, minus I hope they give us more information about Spinner's background, because that was really, really quick. Like, super quick, super fast. I'm sure there was more information in the manga about that. We still have to go over Mr. Compress's background. We don't really have his background yet, so we'll have to wait and see what happens there. And Dobby as well. We also do not have Dobby's background yet. What I think is going to happen next episode, everything is going to come together for this, League of Villains arc. My Hero Academia, my League of Villains arc, whatever you want to call it, my villain arc. I think what's going to happen is Giga is going to show up, just wreck everybody and everything in the process of Re-Destro. He's going to get to Re-Destro, probably overpower Re-Destro. There won't be much that Re-Destro can do. But I think Re-Destro is going to be strong enough where he will be able to severely weaken Giga to the point where Shigaraki can then take him down. He gets Giga under his wing. He then gets the Doctor under his wing. And we now have the successor to All for One. I think that's where this is going. It just seems like that's where this is going, in my opinion. You can let me know what you think in the comments down below. But that, I think, is where we're going to end it. 9 out of 10. Excellent episode. Highly recommend. Next two episodes are probably going to be great as well. Redeeming this season a little bit. A lot of the season was pretty bad, but now we're into an excellent arc. I look forward to seeing the movie at some point when that comes out. Who knows? It's just all filler. But unfortunately, it is what it is. They sacrificed a lot of the season for that movie. So do with it as you will. My name is Steve Gray. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button, turn on that notification bell, leave a comment, like down below. Tell me what you want me to do for future anime, cartoon-related videos. The meme videos will keep coming. Don't worry, I plan on keeping up with those. As long as I can think of ideas. I did recently open an eBay store that I may link down below as well if you're interested in that. Currently, I'm going to be having some Dragon Ball Z figures listed shortly. A lot of motorcycles. I have a bunch of motorcycle toys I'm listing, guitar stuff. Got a couple of Halloween things along those lines. Trying to make some extra money, because right now this is not making me any money. Just doing it out of the love for making these videos. My entertainment, your entertainment. It is what it is. We'll leave it there. Thank you for watching. My name is Steve Gray, and as always, have a good one.